Hey up, welcome back to Jurassic Garage. I'm finally going to start working on tidying the VTi-S up, basically a respray without actually getting a respray. If you look behind me, you'll see I've actually already started a few weeks ago, but I forgot to bloody film an intro, so that's what I'm doing now. Hopefully, yeah, we should see some pretty good results. Tidy it up a bit on a budget. Let's get cracking. So just taking that bit of plastic out, the 1.6 to put in the VTi-S. Thought I might as well do the tail light loom while I'm at it. So I'm just trying to get that unplugged. Got the light loose. It goes into the car through there and it plugs in behind there. I've just got to try and get that out and then I'll unplug it, swap them over. Hopefully I've working indicator and brake light. So that's the light and loom out the VTi-S. It goes through the body there. That's a bit of a pain to get out, but managed it. Might even do the rear bumpers actually while the lights are off. It's a bit easy to see what's going on. Only thing is, to get the one out the 1.6, there's a CD changer in the way, so I'll have to remove that. So that seems to be held together with cobwebs. There's a big spider that I think it's dead. I hope it's dead. So I'm going to at least test it on the VTi-S, and then I think I'm going to give it a good yeah, it's dead. Give it a good hose down before I put it on the car. So it's a bit of a pain trying to get the rubber seal out without knackering the wiring. And now God knows how I'm going to actually get it back in again if I do get it out. But I'll have a go. Yeah, so that's pretty festy, isn't it? That spider. So, plug that into the VTi-S, see if it works. That's all plugged in, and we'll give it a go. Ah, success. That'll do. What about the brake light? Got myself a little Dremel. Hopefully I can cut the screws for the rear bumper, whip that off, swap them over. So that's step one. So I'm going to have a crack at it with this cut-off wheel type thing first. These sometimes shatter, so hopefully it doesn't take my eye out if it does. If that doesn't work, I'll probably use one of these grinding sort of stones. Hopefully bumper will pop off now. If there's nothing daft that I've forgotten about, there probably is, but So I've never seen it with the back bumper off, so excuse the minging back box, that'll be going soon. That's pretty solid, to be fair. Looks alright. Yeah. Not bad at all, really. That's the two bumpers finally off. 30 quid later and a Dremel. So VTi-S 1.6. Obviously you can see the lip and the big dirty hole. That's the whole reason I'm changing it. The 1.6 one isn't amazing. Some scratches there. I did them as I was getting it off, but the lip will cover them. So that's not too much of a drama. Some weird little marks there, don't know what they are. Hopefully a bit of polish or tar and glue, they'll come off. A couple of little marks. It will want painting eventually. There's some marks there. But on the whole, there's another scratch there. That may polish out. But yeah, on the whole, better than the one I've got. Mainly because of that. Unfortunately, I've got mud flaps on the 1.6 and you can't fit them with the lip unless you cut a bit off the end of the lip, which I'm not doing. And I'm going to have fun with them. I'll have a go with a screwdriver, but I'm not holding out much hope, so I'm probably going to have to cut them. The mud flaps work, clearly. If you look at that, compared to that. So they also do work, but yeah, I can't keep them. The VTi-S lip is bolted on with them. They're going to be an absolute nightmare, aren't they? Especially them. Look at that. So they're almost certainly going to have to be cut off, and I'll probably have to just nut and bolt them. Simple bumper swaps turn into actually a bit of a pain in the arse, but there you go, that's 90s cars for you. As you can see, we got a little bit toasty there. Instead of getting all the way through the screws, ended up just melting the mud flap. So if anyone wants them and has got some big washers, give us a message. Now I'm going to have the absolute joy of trying to get these out, and I don't think it's going to be too much fun, so I might end up having to cut them. We shall see. Right then, time to get the VTi-S lip off. I've sprayed all the bolts with WD-40, but they're pretty crusty, so any bets on how many come out easily? Well, none when they're 9mm bolts. I'm using a 10mm. Hang on. I think I picked up the wrong socket. Well, that's one that needs cutting. That's two that need cutting. Well, that was predictable. So I've managed to get them all basically free with the minimal damage to the bumper. I think it's just there to the lip, sorry. Yeah, I've cracked the lip there, but I'm over it already. You'll never see it. That one's free, I think. But that one is going to need a bit of love from Mr. Dremel. Success. So I know I was a bit rough in my removal method, but damage wise, we're pretty okay really.
If 2 + 2 is 4, right? And 5 + 5 is 10, okay. What the fuck is this?
Couple of little marks on that side. And then that. Same on this side. Decent sized washer on that and you'll never know. All the holes are pretty decent, so I should get away with it all. So hopefully the lip will cover them, I reckon it will. It's a pretty nasty mark there where I think it's been reversed along a curb. Oh yeah, look at that, good as new. So that's the lip on, fits spot on obviously, it's OEM VTi-S. I do need to order some bolts, well nuts and bolts, to get that to sit on properly and secure. I don't want to lose that, they're about 120 quid. First job's going to be stick the VTi-S lip back on this bumper because it does look pretty poverty spec at the minute. Now I think I said I was going to nut and bolt this, but those holes look like they'll take a different type of fixing to me, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's a Civic innit, so I've got to keep it Birmingham spec. So for some reason it's got these little plastic nubs that stop it sitting right. Now I've just checked, the VTi-S bumper has holes here. I'm not going to be drilling holes, so I'm just going to cut these nubs off I think, make it line up a bit better. Bumper and lip on. Fitment's nice and tight against the bumper. Now I've cut them nubs off. It's a little bit loose because there's a screw. It goes through the bumper there into the actual body. Not a screw, sorry, a cable tie, obviously. Sits out a little bit there. Just won't quite sit on the ledge. It was like that on the other car as well, so I think the bumper's a little bit misshapen. But better than the old one, it doesn't have that massive big hole there. Yeah, a few little scuffs. It will need painting. think the car's been pushed with another car at some point and it's cracked it and spider webbed it all. But at least it hasn't got a big hole in it. That's the bumper and lip screwed on. There's another hole there that this bumper doesn't have drilled, and I forgot my extension lead, so I can't drill it today. But that will butt up nice once it's drilled. So, job done. Just got to snip the ends off the ties. I think my next job's going to be to stick a filler cap on it, because that's not a great look. I'm going to use the one off the 1.6 because the one off this was bent. It did sit out a little bit, so I think one of the tabs was bent where it locks in. So I'll stick that on now. We should be able to see the colour match pretty well then as well, or mismatch. Sound. So one issue you have with a donor car, or I have anyway, is you end up comparing absolutely everything. So now I'm like, oh, which filler cap's nicest? And it just doesn't matter at all. But I'm still going to spend 5 minutes deciding on which one to put back on. Gonna spin it round now, start cracking on with the front end, swapping the lip over, swapping the bumpers over. I'll try and have a look at how well the colour matches in the sun. I'll move it so it's a bit more in the sun now. We'll see how it looks. That's the brightest sunlight I can get it in. Let's see. That door's going to need some polishing. It's covered in marks, but most of them should come out. So that wing and that door are off that. This door is original, so pretty close to be fair. Obviously that's covered in swirls. That's not much better, but I did polish it, so it is quite deep. Yeah, I polished it a couple of years ago, but it has gone a bit bad again. But other than that, I think the fade's pretty similar. Hopefully once I polished it all up, it should be pretty close. And the filler cap's off the 1.6 as well. So yeah, again, it's got a bit of a haze over it, but it looks pretty close. So see how it goes once I've polished it. Seeing as I'll be swapping the boot lids over, I think I'll have a go at getting the VTi-S spoiler off, because that's going to have to be swapped onto the other boot lid. So hopefully it'll come off easily, without any snap bolts or snapped anything or rounded anything, but let's see. I've managed to get 3 of the bolts out. There's 5 in it in total, but there's 1 on each side. I don't think you're going to be able to see. There's 1 on each side that keeps spinning, so I can't quite get it off. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it, I don't think. So I'm going to need to get a jab saw with a metal blade and cut through the bolts. So that's my next thing to order. Then I can whip that off. I don't know what I'm going to do about actually fixing it then to the new boot. Maybe I'll just use 3 bolts and hope for the best. We'll see. Front ends then. I'm going to put that bumper on that car with that lip, because this one's all cut out and horrible. That one's still got all the original slats and stuff that it should have. The only thing it's going to be a bit of a pain. That number plate plinth on that one, it extends down. You'll see what I mean when I get the plate off. But to get that small plate on, I'm going to have to cut a bit of the bumper off, otherwise there'll be a big bit of bumper hanging down and it looks a mess. I'm going to leave these headlights on, I think, because I've restored them and sprayed the insides grey like a EK9. Apart from this isn't worth 25 grand. I did see someone actually on Facebook who had the standard headlights, obviously these are cloudy, but got rid of the orange bit, so they're all just clear and they look pretty good. So depending on what I do with this car, if I don't sell it complete, I might save these headlights, restore them and do the all clear, see how they look. They look pretty good on the one I saw on Facebook. Fastest double bumper removal ever. Let's have a go. Sorted. It's easy when you don't bolt them back on. A little bit of a predicament now, so to get my small reg on, which I really do want because the big ones look horrendous, I'm going to have to cut off that little bottom bit of the reg plinth, but I didn't realise the mesh actually is sort of part of it. What I'm thinking is cut out just the top row of slats. This one does actually say on the back to be cut out if the car has aircon, and it hasn't been cut out, and it's been on a car with aircon, which is weird, so well done Honda for that. So yeah, I think I'm going to try and not make a hash of it, but cut out the top row. Hopefully I won't ruin the bumper and have to buy a new one, because the whole point of buying the 1.6 was to not have to keep buying random panels, so we'll see how it goes. So a plasterboard saw, I know it's not really the tool for the job, but let's wing it, see what happens. I was about to say this is working better than I thought it would, but nah. Well, now it's a rustic version. Well done, Rolson, you make crap stuff. In the bin. So there's me cut. It's straight-ish, considering I was using a plasterboard saw. You know, a pro always blames his tools and all that. I have been a bit of a spanner though and caught it there, and I don't know if that's going to polish out. Yeah, I can feel it with my nail, so we'll have to see. Oh well, it's better than all that and the cutty outiness. Now I did make a mess of cutting that one out, and you'll see when I get the plate off how bad it is. Obviously you can't see it, but yeah, with the plate off it looks a mess. So pretty chuffed with that. It's a lot tidier than my first attempt. Yeah, check that out. What an absolute mess. A bit of a rough edge there, but I can hide that, I reckon. Yeah, don't think that looks too bad. I can tidy this up with a Dremel when I've got the extension lead. But I think I'll get some sticky pads now, stick that on. Yeah, tidy that up with a Dremel a little bit. We should be away. Loads better. Time to get the VTi-S lip off the really ruined, knackered bumper. Stick it on the 1.6 and make it look fast. It doesn't look too bad with that mesh cut out. Still got to cut out those three, but they just pretty much snap. Yeah, pretty chuffed with that, to be fair. Looks all right. A little bit of tidying up to do with a Dremel on there, but yeah, didn't turn out as bad as it could have done. Just give you one more little look at me handiwork from last time I did this. I used a hacksaw, and the top of the hacksaw kept fouling, so I couldn't cut straight. And yeah, proper mess that, innit?
Look at it! I mean, that looks like it was done with a knife and fork by the council.
So these are the fixings for the VTi-S lip. They're just the same as the rear ones, and I can see me needing to do a bit of choppy. If that's the case, I'll have to wait till next week because I haven't got the extension lead. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not holding out too much hope. How many of these bad boys are going to come out then? Or are any going to come out? Let's see. So far so good, wasn't expecting that. Ah, screws on the sides. Oh, look at that. Just looked at it and it undid. Well, they all came out pretty straightforward, so should pop off now. Sweet. Didn't expect that, to be honest. Oh, minging. Well, only one place for this. In the bin. Actually, I've got to put it back on the 1.6. Even these little captive nut things for the lip aren't in bad nick, so I'll probably reuse them. I'll put a bit of copper grease on them, but for now I'm going to just cable tie the lip on because it's getting a little bit dark. I promise I will actually clip it in properly next week. Little weird bit of design from Honda. The lip does actually have intakes in it, but you put it on the bumper and it should block by the bumper, so well done Honda. Poverty spec base model, VTi-S'd up. Now the only thing missing now is the fog lights. I have got a pair, but being a base model bumper, this has the blanks, so I have to do a little bit of cutting, but I'll get onto them at a later date. That's where we're up to now. That's just cable tied back on for now. I will mount it properly next week. I've got to drill a couple of holes for the lip that aren't in the base model bumper. So I'll do that when I've got the extension lead next week. That bit of mesh that I've cut out, I don't think that looks too bad. It's definitely a lot better than the fully wide-mouthed version that was on it. So pretty happy. Just the bonnet to change now. Yeah, definitely going to change that, I think. And the boot lid, well, that spoiler's going to be a nightmare, I reckon. But find a way. Sits nice as well. It is only cable tied on, but panel gap wise, it's reasonable. So yeah, I'll see you next week. I'll throw the bumper back on that, then I'm going to go home before it goes dark and my fingers fall off. So I think I'm going to end the episode there, otherwise it's going to end up really long and you're all going to get bored. I'm going to split this part into two. If you're enjoying it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of it. It's always good to hear some feedback. The next part will be up in a few days. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.